Welcome to Housing Talk with Sharonica Outlaw and John Ferreira. I'm your host, Sharonica Outlaw with Berkshire Hathaway. I service the Hudson Valley area and also all of New York. John, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hey everyone, John Ferrara here with ASAP Mortgage, providing the most competitive, personalized mortgage experience for my buyers and homeowners for over 25 years. And buying a home is one of the most important investments in your life, whether it's for personal or investment. We're here to educate you and hopefully make some sound decisions.
Great, John. Now, this is the second session of the top 20 questions people wish they asked before purchasing a home. You ready, John?
I'm ready.
You sure you're ready today?
I'm ready, Sharonica.
All right, so let's just jump in and get started.
Awesome.
How can I find information about my credit report?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, by law, the consumer is entitled to one free credit report a year. And they can do that by going to www.annualcreditreport.com. It's good to know, before you start the process of buying a home, just to kind of get a little idea of where your credit's at. We can, when I analyze everything, I can help my clients improve their credit, but it's good to know where your credit's at.
Okay, what if I have no credit? Is it possible that I can buy a house with a zero score?
It is possible. I would recommend working on establishing your credit. You can do that by, just sometimes simply by opening up a couple of secured credit cards and using those for a few months, and that'll get you on your way to building up your credit.
Okay, so with that being said, how do I choose the best loan program for me? How do I go about doing that, John?
Well, when you work with a mortgage broker or a professional like myself, after we go through the pre-approval process and I analyze the income, assets, liabilities, I work on choosing the best mortgage that fits my individual client. But there are, some other, I like to ask questions about their future, what their expected income is to be over the next few years. Are they comfortable? What are they paying now? Are they paying rent? At what amount? And, where they're going to feel comfortable paying, a new mortgage. So that's very important. Where they expect to be down, what kind of terms the loan has to be. When do they want to be mortgage free? What is it going to be, a 30-year term, 15-year? I have some clients that even opt for a 10-year term, providing they can afford the payments. So we need to establish all these things in our game plan in the beginning.
When you speak about terms, are there different rates for different terms?
There is, for example, we have conventional mortgages, which is typically the best mortgage if you're putting, a good amount down, and they have higher credit scores. But we also, those are done through Fannie and Freddie, which are two of the biggest lending institutions in the country. But we also have some very good government programs, FHA, VA, USDA, which are a little more lenient on credit and debt ratios, things like that. So I need to establish what program is going to be best for them. Because a lot of times with the lesser down payments and lower credit scores, conventional might not be a good option for them. EMI payments might be higher. So this is what I will establish for them.
Okay, now how do I know which loan is going to be best? Now, it is a conventional loan better than an FHA loan?
Well, it's not necessarily which loan is better. It's based on the borrower's criteria. There's a lot of different guidelines for each for conventional, FHA, VA. So when I establish my client, that's when I, as a professional, figure out what's going to be the more cost-effective program for them.
Okay, great. Now, what is, I've been doing a little research on rates and everything. You've been going over things about rates and things. What exactly is locking in your rate? What does that mean?
Well, locking in a rate is when we receive the purchase contracts from the attorneys. There's usually an on or about closing date, so we have to establish and strategically lock their mortgage in from time of application to closing in a structured time period. And there's all different time periods. We just have to figure out what's going to be, suitable for them. That guarantees the rate is locked in until the closing. Now, if we exceed the closing date, we do have extended lock periods. We can extend it. But we usually only get one free one. So we want to kind of be accurate with that lock period.
Okay. Now, with the market constantly fluctuating with rates going up and down, if I decided to lock in my rate and then I wanted to refinance, would I be able to do that?
Well, yeah. So the refinance would happen after you close. So once you lock in a rate and close on the house, you can always refinance down the line if we look at it and say, hey, rates, it's beneficial to the borrower. And there's no prepayment penalty in the state of New York, so they can refinance really anytime after closing.
Okay. So everything has to be done before I actually sign the mortgage agreement. Is that what you're saying? Or sign a contract?
No, it has to be done prior to closing.
Okay.
Right. And then after the closing, that's their rate for whatever period if it's a 30-year, 15-year, that rate is locked. The only option they would have is to refinance.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks for elaborating on that.
Yeah.
Now, I've also been doing research. Now, it also says something about discount points. What are discount points? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So the only time a buyer or borrower, I should say, should be paying points is when they're called discount points. Us as a broker, we don't charge any fees. Typically just for your appraisal and your credit, but you never want to pay points for no reason. Discount points is a great feature that they can apply a certain amount of money to lower the interest rate. And that's what I would do with the client when we're about to lock in their rate.
Okay. Now, are there any types of incentives for locking in my rate? And how much am I paying for these discount points? Is there a percentage or anything that I would need to pay to lock in?
It's all different. It depends on the day, where the market's at. I mean, I follow the bond market very closely, but each lender has what it costs to buy the rate down, whether it's an eighth or a quarter or 0.5%. Obviously, the fee gets more as you buy it down, but whatever they can afford, and if they're going to be in the house long term. Otherwise, I don't really recommend using discount points.
So you're saying it may or may not be a better incentive purchasing discount points as opposed to not purchasing discount points?
Well, there has to be a reason, and it's a numbers game. If they plan on being in the property for more than 10 years, usually, and they have the extra money, then it will pay off in the long run. And I simply calculate how much they're saving per month, what's it costing them for the initial discount points, and how long is it going to take for them to recoup it.
All right, John, that sounds excellent. I hope that answered everyone's questions. All right, this is Housing Talk with Sharonica and John. This concludes the second session of the top 20 questions people wish they asked before purchasing a home. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications for more of Sharonica and John.
Thank you, guys. I hope we gave you guys some good information, and we'd love to see you guys back next Friday at 6 p.m. Have a great day, everyone.
See you all.